Dun, 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 dun. Mhm. Ooh. Simmer. So first we need to clean up some mistakes. Doom Farm Magenta. And lazy shouldn't want to do that. Do. Everything should be running now. There's red back. Good. Doom Farm Magenta. 'Cause it missed a few. Freeze. Enough to fix the mistake. Oh, the bots. The only problem I see with contrast is that there is a lot of times where it's formed because the look at that. Yes. harder because what is it called? You do a white, you usually do a white back undercoat. It means it gets way easier. See the white spots. Cool, thanks. Yeah, no, I do it on Twitch and YouTube as well. I sort of just stream while I'm painting because I just want to like have people to chat to while I'm like missing bit. Okay, so I think we can start with the highlights. So I think it's Mephiston Red. Get my plan so I know what I'm doing. Did that already. That. Radiant flesh tone on the wings. And bone white. Okay, we'll do the Evil Sun Scarlet. Yeah. Evil Sun Scarlet. Fire Dragon Bright. Although I'm not the biggest fan of Fire Dragon Bright. Yeah. Where is it? Part of the find. Or intense orange in it. Oh. Scarlet. Wet palette. Darker and left. And the highlighting takes a while. It's too thick, I'm doing it.
No, get deleted.
Damn spam.
Oh yeah. Hey Zed. Let me try to zoom this in a bit. This would be increased.
Just doing the highlights, which are the really tricky bit. It gives it much more depth. If we get that. Good. Quickest through when you're doing the lines, not do it. jeez. This help my. Oh, it's interesting to. Oh yeah, no. I was okay. So the reason why I use Powerwolf is that it is they don't copyright strike it. So like so what is it called? Powerwolf. They let you use the music, but they like what is it called? A lot of things they'll like mute the audio or they'll copyright strike it. But the Powerwolf sort of has like a free use type. As long as you're not monetized or something. Like they don't actively look for the. They don't actively like cancel it out. It's helpful when I upload stuff to YouTube and Twitch. They just like they don't. If you upload stuff to Twitch, they'll mute the music if you don't have the copyright. Powerwolf is just sort of they allow you to just like stream with it. There's a lot of music that you just mostly anime music. But yeah, I do like high pass music. Like I used to use relaxing music, high pace music like Eurobeat and stuff. Under pressure to use like using Steve Scarlet or should I use Kristen Red might be a bit. Yeah. These are good. I hate this. Point of this. People say, "Oh, it's so expensive for the GW stuff," but like I've tried other holders, and a lot of holders are kind of. Hey, there we go. Loads of people just me. The whole about this is trying. Well, almost. You also want it to be like still pretty visible as well. Now we do the strike. Now we do. Watch this brush up too. on. Ooh, diluted. Fudgy. You want to break up all the darkness you want. There we go. We can move into the next section. These puppets are gonna be the easiest is just the outer card. Face. Oh, okay. So much painting. It's just want to do something. I was doing that. I'm not sure if you've seen that in face. I think I do faces very well. Like for the amount of time I feel like I do faces and eyes. I like the edges. Dang it, I missed them. I like Tyranid's paint. Feel like it's easier to not feel bad afterwards. Really important for me. I always feel bad about. Yep.
Yeah, I hope the zoom is working well.
Yep, looks nice. Once we finish these red highlights, orange highlights. Now we do this. One day I'll also get the confidence to do battle damage.
Yep.
Have hope this capacity is heat. Then it gets sharper tip. Ugh, man, that's not looking good. They don't know what to do with the shoulders. How do they do the shoulders? Yeah, it's going along. It's just trying to figure out how to make the shoulders look better. Probably... Yeah, I shouldn't have done any lines on... I should have just let the bits dark. Having lines across them. But... No, I did that too soon. You have to be so careful. Double check my camera, it's looking good, so I can... Very, very nice and highlighted. Now,
I need to decide.
whether to do orange this or move on to doing the highlights and the red edges on we'll do the red edges on blue. Keep orange for last so we can give them plenty of time to dry. What else can we use? Cool. Oh jeez, oh no, dang. Neurotyrand. It's announced season 2. I love that. man, I love Freerun. It's such a great anime. So comfy yet also filled with motion and epic fight. Where it's peak. Like how you actually level up when you, the more painting you do, the more you're like, okay, I know this movement of my hand will usually cause this mistake. Start to get used to like how your brush works, how everything works. Set for set. Yeah, I'm not sure how well. I need to get a better lighting setup. Getting a lighting setup is hard because you don't want to like hurt my eye. Oh man, that's in the baking. Jeez. Actually out of breath, just there you go, that's good enough. Not deep, I'm not dealing anymore. Maybe a bit more. Bit too thick, but I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Difficult enough. Paint. Amazing. No. The one problem with Tyranid is that all these highlights, so many carapace. We're full. Ooh. Look at that. Pretty nice. Highlight it a bit more. And there's so much to do. So many to highlight. To the small one. Little baby nose. Little baby nose. Technically, they're like portable Wi-Fi nodes. So small, it makes it so easy. On my wrist, it hurts. I'm gonna do that. That's easy enough. I think let's brush a bit. Let's get permanently
The marsh.
The marsh.
Right, stuff first. Time is 2 o'clock. Okay.
On my wrist. You only use one color so far. Actually, besides the finishing touch bit. Awkward. Ah, my wrist hurts. It's killing me. Not the best looking, but kind of tilted, so. Oh, my head.
um.
Hey.
Oh, geez.
Fighting all these, I have to do it all over. What's the even? Ping. Fine. And there's just so many. Oh, I'm gonna go crazy. I remember why I was like, oh, why don't I do my Tyranid? Like, oh, this is why. Slowly by bit. Yep, it's just taking its time. Like you can see with this, looks pretty okay. Actually, let me see if we can get the zoom in on the face. The face turned out pretty well on this. Look at him, look at the little face. Still loads of work to do though. Then I have to do them all over again, but with a different color. That's why I'm only doing 2 colors. Imagine having to do. It is hard, but you get better with practice. It's just sort of like you just keep trying and eventually you get better at it usually. All about like taking it really slowly and like putting as little pressure as you can. It's a challenge, but like it's part of the fun of painting. It is just what is it called? You need to be like accepting that kind of takes a while to actually get good. Like I gave an example of it. Oh, he is all the way in the back. Like for an example, let me just switch to a different screen for a second. Where did I do it? What did I do with it? Let me get this. Let me just get my browser view so I can show. Is this full? No, that's not it. Nope. Where is it? That's not it. Jeez, I can't find it. Cord. Watch. There it is. So see, this is one of the faces I did. You just slowly get better at it, and you try different techniques and stuff like that. Although to be fair, this is a pretty big head. Like if you get an actual human-sized head scale, it's like way smaller. Where did I put this? There it goes. So yeah, you just keep trying and get better at stuff. but then when you see it and it like goes really good. But at the same time, when you play on the tabletop, no one's going to notice those details. Like no one will, like you can't see those details at all on the tabletop. You have to look, even when you're handing someone the miniature to look at, like they have to be looking really close to see it. Like you can see these images because they're like photos, but then if you actually look at it, like even from like even just like having it right in front of you, it's still hard to see all the detail. That's one of the drawbacks. You can make it look really amazing, but at the end of the day, no one's going to really notice it too much. However, if you do make vivid colors, that's why I like my ultramarine. They're such a vivid color that even you can see how great their coloring is tabletop. There are some advantages. This is all what you want to do. Like I like having my miniatures look both really good looking and also being very, what is it called? What would you say? Like lore accurate. So I have all the decals to make them all my decals are like lore accurate to the company. Quads and everything. Dang it! Oh man, I messed up there. My jeez.
Yeah, I think faces would be a challenge.
Yeah, with faces you have to kind of do. With faces, what is it called? A lot of it is also with the paints you use, and it requires faces especially. You need to know how shadows and stuff like that work and layers. You need to really glaze a bit more. Well, not glaze, but just sort of. It does take some, but you just do like progressive layers, slow. Oh. Careful. The biggest things you have to deal with is fighting your own impatience. Get things done. Just do it with careful. But sometimes mistakes can like, just because it doesn't look neat doesn't mean it's not looking good. Sometimes you can have very unneat things because you use the right colors. Looks really nice. Like there's a lot of painters who their technique isn't, what is it called, neat painting. It's more of just, what is it called, using the right colors. So those right colors compensate for how unneat it is. It's got all the side highlights, and then we can go on to the stripes, which go. I think for the under characters, I just highlight the edges. Now here we go to the line. Fine tip. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I paint way more than I play. Like some people they play all the time. I kind of have a thing where I need to have my miniatures painted. Like it kind of annoys me when I have to proxy and stuff like that. But then again, sometimes you paint so much and then you start to go a bit crazy. It's all figuring out what your priorities are. A lot of people, they like, especially me, like a lot of people they buy too many models and they take forever to paint it. So you have to sort of figure, like, if you're painting these, like, people always say, oh, this hobby's so expensive, but then like, if you actually take the time to paint them all out and like do them properly, hobby is supposed to actually last way longer. It's just loads of people just they don't do the painting aspect, or they just want to play the game aspect. So for those people who just want to play the game aspect, getting all the models and everything does come very expensive. The paints are also kind of expensive as well. Paints, you sort of you buy the paints that you think, well, not way that you actually do need. Like just don't just buy GW because you want paints. You buy GW because you have a specific color and no one else has a cheaper version. Like there's some colors it's really hard to find a GW non-GW version, especially the contrast. The contrast is really good. They have a lot of colors and not too many options. Other sellers that have like exactly that color, or if they do have it, it's sort of a bit different. Yeah, it's you when you get to like a higher level, you start to like, okay, I need this paint because it has this characteristic. Because you can sort of mix colors to achieve what you want, but you also need. So it's nice. Oh, very nice. This gives so much depth, that open area. Now for the crown. Airbrushes aren't a requirement. Like I'm doing most of my Tyranids, I don't need an airbrush at all. It's just I use an airbrush. If you airbrushes are sort of like okay, so I use an airbrush because I really hate base painting, and I also need the airbrush for the type of blue I want. But you can get away without it, and certain armies are usually easy to do without an airbrush, like Custodians are easy to do an airbrush. Tyranids, you just use contrast paints. Orcs, you just use contrast paints. Grey Knights as well, you can just... A lot of armies don't need airbrush, but a lot of armies also very, like help a lot. Like Space Marines are probably actually one of the best to get airbrushes for, because they're big enough and like you have a lot of them, but also anything like, but at the same time you don't really need them. I've done like vehicles without airbrush and they turned out pretty well. Dry brushing is also underappreciated. But again, you don't need it. It helps a lot, but it's also very like, but also it's also really awkward sometimes using the airbrush. It's like, again, every time you use it, you have to clean it, and that takes about 20 minutes, 30. And it can clog, and it makes a lot of noise, and it also produces a lot of dust. Like all that paint, even it's gotta go, it has to go somewhere. Big crown. So yeah, it's not a necessity, but it also helps a lot. It depends on what your priorities are. Like again, if you're playing Custodians or Grey Knights, I probably wouldn't say you need an airbrush, because those armies are pretty easy to go without an airbrush. And if you just want to paint, like you definitely don't need an airbrush. Airbrush is mainly for people who are like trying to do armies, because it just takes so long to do base coats. You're trying to do in a whole army. If you're just painting, say, one character a month or less than that, you probably don't need an airbrush. Like I've done a lot of characters that are just not airbrush at all. Well, actually, most of my characters are done without airbrush. Even when you do an airbrush, you still have to do all the highlighting and everything. It just helps a lot with some bits, like do highlights on the base coat already. That's way too thick. No. Can you give a good kit for a beginner? Usually, yeah. A good kit for a beginner usually ends up being something like a Space Marine, or because they're big. If you get the Guard or like others, actually, I would say a good kit for a beginner is probably a Tyranid kit. Because Tyranids, they're the easiest to sort of make good with like just available paints. They don't have too many flat edges that make it hard for it to use contrast or anything like that. The question is like, do you like that? The biggest thing when choosing an army is always not what they call, it's always what do you like, because at the end of the day, you're the one going to be painting it, you're the one who's going to be keeping it or using it. You actually like those models, do you like that army and everything? Like my Ultramarines, I lost every game I've had with them, but I love their Ultramarine blue. Always gonna keep those. Even when, and I've changed, and what is it called? I've changed the blue recipe so many times. But the whole point is I want to make my Ultramarines look good. So that's why it's all based on what you like. So first of all, find what you like in 40k. Like what faction do you like most? Then you sort of figure out what kits then. So you find the cat faction, then you find out what of those factions units you're most interested in. And then you find out if they have only, is it only a single one? Do they have several types? Like, what is it called? Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of some of the Bobo stuff, so I kind of like leave those to last, even though I kind of need them for competitive. But I always prioritize the models I like most. So that's why I have so many Gravis Marines, because I love Gravis. I'm gonna have like I have a whole kit that I'm gonna repaint because I. Ooh, this crown is actually really. All the curves and make it really. Probably just wash the brush as well. Yeah. My first one. So my first kit I got this. The first one I got was the 8th edition, just what is it called? It was just 3 paints, a brush, and a single Space Marine, which is like one of the get started kits. That was just a start. But for actual like starting out fully, I went straight in and I bought one of the starter sets, the 8th edition Dark Imperium box. And like I'm still painting stuff. What is it called? It took me forever to actually, like, I bought that in 2018 and I only finished most of it this year. Mostly because I had university and I also, like, it took me a while to be confident with my painting. I always thought it looked bad, as well as the scheme I wanted, I was like, I didn't end up liking it, so I had to repaint it. So I regret being a bit too fast with, like, purchases, but I went a bit, like, I went straight in because, what is it called? I was just too deep into it. But again, I only started painting, like, real properly, like, the last year or so. So that Dark Imperium, it gave you what is it called? It gave you it gave you Space Marines and it gave you Death Guard. I ended up selling all the Death Guard in the end because I ended up, like, I didn't really like Death Guard. And what is it called? The Space Marine stuff they what is called it quickly got like outdated because they released better versions of it like in the future, but it took a while though. I still have it, and I still use most of them, like the Insectors, Gravis Captain, the Lieutenants. Although I still haven't painted the Lieutenants. I need to just double check how the painting. Yeah, you have to just be kind of be a bit careful. I'm a bit better with the purchases, but that's because I have so many stuff I still need to paint. And even then, I take a while to paint through them all. So let me just check. Neurotyrand. Oh no. What happened to the connection? Okay. Let me just restart the camera feature. Is it working? No, it's there. There we go. Phone. Go. Oh, there we go. Back offline. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful, but you have to figure out if you actually want to do this. Like it can take a lot of time and money. But for some of us it's really it's really fun. Anyway, have fun with the research. Fuji. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Now, I do have no idea what direction I should be doing.
Let's see. Where's the Kraken stuff? Yeah, I think I'm doing a bit too many stripes all over the place. Should just be more just high. Too late now. Oh. Okay, I think that's all the red stripes. Now we get to the orange bits. Bloop. I always hate orange. So awkward.
always find the orange so awkward trying. No, that's too thick. Ah, jeez. Dang it. Dang it. Water it down. It's so hard. This is the frustrating bit with highlights, is trying to get the second layer. Focusing on raised area. Yep, music. Need music. Do do do. I like it. Pretty. Helps brighten it up.
time. No, this one. Hey. Dynamite. Yeah, that's too thick. Oh. I can't get good coverage with these. Orange is such a pain. What's cracking, y'all? This is cracking me. It's cracking me crazy. Cuckoo. Ah, jeez. Trying to do orange is... Ah, I hate it. Bad. Orange. I hate orange. But I need it for the highlights. And then overpower the red highlight piece. Oh! Dang it, dang it, dang it. Ah, I hate orange. He did so much to help make this pop out. Making mistakes everywhere. At least the orange one. Maybe I should try not using Fire Dragon Ride or AK, but try Soul Slayer War. Maybe that's as horrible as well. Looks horrible. They all look really. I know it's not worth it. Using a regular intent orange is probably good enough. Just
Yeah, that's good enough. Ollie's back. Fringe. Midnight. Rushes. Jeez, I can't get it to rush. Wait. Back on.
lot of brush cleaning up. There you go. The crown, get the highlight, and then double check my phone. Double check. Taking a breather. Okay. So now rate these. Doo-doo-doo. Oh. Spotlight. Oh. Ooh. What? What the hell? Okay, this is that what the freaking I'm actually, what is it called? What the This is the first raid ever, and I don't know why there's 23 people. Where did you bring these people from? I have no idea. Jeez. It's scaring me. Jeez. Oh, so that's really cool, man. I mean, I'm just, what is it called? From my stream. Oh. From my stream. Oh, you were streaming as well. What were you streaming? Like, what do you actually? What do you actually? I actually haven't checked. What did you stream? What do you stream? Jeez, that's a lot of raiders. Thanks for coming in anyway. Like, I'm just. As you can see, we've got really far onto the highlighting. We're on the orange stage, and the orange stage is absolutely painful. But it's coming along. What were you streaming? Oh, that's cool. Oh, Animal Crossing. No, I've never played Animal Crossing. And just, even though I have a Switch, it's just I always prefer, if I'm doing something like building and everything like that, I usually do Minecraft. But yeah, thanks for coming by actually. As you can see so far, we've got the highlights. We've got lots of the highlights done so far. Although I'm really
awkward with the orange. Soon we'll have the crown for the Tyranid. Let me get the zoom function working. Orange is an awkward. It is so bad. I tried 3 different oranges. Now let's get the. So we have. You can see the highlights though. They look really good. The orange highlights. It's gonna turn out really cool. But man, orange is just so bad. It is so annoying. I was mixing the orange with red because it was actually it was being a bit easier to work with when I put red with it. Yeah. So I'm almost well, I have to still wait before I assemble this because I have to do all the brain highlights. Actually, I will try some of the brain highlights right now. So I have some new pinks. So I have squid pink, and I need pink. I don't have another pink. Screamer pink. Screamer pink. Screamer pink. Pink horror. I have Screamer pink over here. There we go. So now I have to figure out how to highlight these. But yeah, we've only used but 3 colors, and it's already turning out really nice. So pink horror. Let me just zoom back out again. And this thing's Screamer pink. I need to figure out what the highlights. Yeah, so the pink horror is pretty brain colored. Ooh, it does turn out really nice. Highlighting for this brain bit. So, what is it called? You mentioned, Kyo, you had some Tyranids you were interested in, or was that someone else? It was just you said you got Tyranids at some point, I think. Ooh. I was scared to do the magenta thing, but actually using the pink horror actually does make it look really nice. Do. Oh, I can. Ooh, they do indeed, yeah. Yeah, working well. He is legit in show. Yes, I saw. I am shocked. Zed, you have to remember that this is the first raid, and it's like what 20 people. It's like, geez. It's like having an open house, and then just suddenly, what is it called, a bus arrives. It's pretty cool though. But yeah. Brain is very nice. See, I was so scared to do highlights, but a lot of the time highlights just, and even when you do mess up highlights, they do really well. He's almost ready. The Tyranid Prime is almost ready.
Like, I think all I have to do with the Tyranid Prime is... I don't really know. Small bits I can do with the tongue. Yeah, but he's pretty much done. I think the only thing missing, yeah, is the base. The base is the main thing I have to get done with him. I think everything else is actually pretty much done. I can assemble him. So before we do that, we'll actually assemble the Tyranid Prime. Oh, jeez. The Tyranid Prime. Oh yeah, no, that's what I forgot to do. I have to highlight his wing. So you remember which wing goes. Right now. Ooh, very cool. And then we just have another wing. Goes here. If I can figure out how he's supposed to slot in. There we go. Yeah, I just have to do a bit of highlights on these, but I'll do that. I don't think I need to do the underside. And then we can just do, once we do those highlights, I can put these arms on. Unless I want to do that. Oh, I think... Yeah, no, I'll do the arms later. I'll do the wings later. We're still working on the brains right now. Because we took out the pink. So let's highlight this brain. What I'm going to do at another point is I'm going to get some oils and I'm going to make it a very glow effect, but that's later. That's going to be much later. Because I have to figure out how to, like, you know, not ruin it with the airbrush. I like a lot. But yeah, what did you do on Animal Crossing actually? Sounds, what is it called? Again, I usually it does sound like a nice game, but I usually prefer Minecraft because I like building and complicated stuff. Although I always go crazy stuff with redstone and mod packs and stuff like that. Eating the brain. Ooh. Pinky brain. I think I can use that. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better, this brain side. It gives it more texture than just having the magenta. But the magenta is a really good highlight, is a really good shade, I think. Doomfire magenta plus pink horror ends up being a very nice brain. And then maybe squid pink, or might make some squid pink just to sort of do a really sharp highlight. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. That's the thing with painting. There's a lot of experimenting because even though if you follow tutorials, there's just sometimes you don't like what they're doing. Like I learned this paint scheme off of a tutorial, but he paints the brains purple, and I don't like the purple brains at all. So I had to figure out my own scheme, and so that was the hardest part. Is just sort of like figuring out how do I make it look good, but also not make it look ugly. And that's where you start to use your own skill. I think that's why I just like I looked at Doomfire Magenta and it's like, okay, that's a close approximation. The brain look like a brain. Green and pink. Very nice. What happens if I mix some squid pink into it? That's too strong. Or is it for a hot? Is it? Yeah, squid pink mixed with the pink horror is probably best for the highlights on the membrane. We're doing the membrane. Ooh, it is turning out pretty nice. Like you can always have the color working, but I realized that with my my ultramarines, is that I did airbrush highlights and they're like, okay, they're good, but line highlights still are really good regardless. Like even when you do yeah, Zen. Yeah. No, not the ads. I hate the ads. Hey there. You know, with the line, we even with like even with good hot airbrush highlights, you kind of still need some line highlights. It just misses something. Always something. It makes you feel like this. So it's like you have to learn the skill anyway. And I thought I was making myself. Oh yeah, it's easier. I don't have to do highlight. I don't have to do highlights if I get an airbrush. And it's like, nope, I still have to do highlights. That's the curse where you want nice models. You have to learn all the skills. You can't just skip all. You have to learn all the skills. You can't just skip some. Too strong. Too much squid pink on that one. They're layer paint, so they dry. When they dry, they should be a bit more. It looks nice. I think. Big brain. Now I just need to afford. Imagine. If only they brought one of these into Space Marine 2, it would have been amazing. So. Here we go. Got to do the lower brain. Yeah, and part of me is yeah, you know, that's the thing. It's all about what you can sort of tolerate and stuff like that. Because like some stuff looks good and I can't tolerate it at all. Like I got these I did these aggressors. Oh jeez. Like they're sort of okay, but they're just not good enough for me. Like they look nice-ish, but they're still just eh. So that's why I kept changing my recipe. Plus, one of the things as well is that when you look up guides by painters, you just because their advice worked for some people doesn't mean their advice will work for you. Like some people just don't do well with highlights and stuff like that. Like some methods are like I have my favorite painter who is Elmin's Miniaturista, and his techniques are best for me. They work well for me because I'm impatient. I can do highlights, but I can't do them. I mostly can't do highlights out of impatience. And his techniques are sort of like the best for people like that because he always uses very bright colors and good contrast, so that even though his lines aren't neat, the contrast and coloring just makes it look amazing. And so he's very good when it comes to like having really bright colors. So yeah. Ooh. The brains look really nice. We'll just do the brain on this. Yeah. Damn it, die. Man, I also really want to rush myself a bit more because I'm actually really like I really want to play matches more, but at the same time I lose so often that it's like do I want to keep playing and I'm gonna keep losing? So I'm sort of thinking maybe I'm thinking just sort of stop playing matches until January and just focus on getting my Custodes army and most of my Ultramarines all painted up. And then from January till July, work on my what is it called, Tau and Kraken. Yeah. Oh, I just drank paint water at you. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm feeling fun, but also at the same time I realize my blood sugar is crashing. I have to check that. Hang on then. Ooh, little bugs.
Looking really nice. I do that with this as well. So Kiku, do you have much paints? I have a lot of paints, but I'm not sure. But still, so I have a lot of paints for versus an average person, but then you see artists, they're like proper miniature artists. They have like a lot of paint. Like they have entire sets and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Look, yeah, I think that the pink bubbles are really nice. They make them look. The pink on the tentacles make them look a bit cuter than they should. They should. Oh, it's a little thing. It's a little monster. Little monster with the little pink bubbles. Tyranids are both somehow like super scary looking and cute at the same. Yeah, I have a lot of paints, but quite a few have yet to be used. I try to use most of them as much as I can. Like some paints definitely get more use than others. My blues get a lot of use. My reds get a lot of use. My ones I probably use the least are my greens. The greens I only use occasionally, as well as the skin color stuff. Skins, I usually go a lot of helmet options because I don't want to deal with the skin. Actually, Kiku, I don't think you were around when I showed the face I did. I did the face. I was showing someone the face that I did last night. And because they were asking basically how hard some of the stuff is, and do you need an airbrush and stuff like that, and explain you get better with solid stuff. You don't need certain, like if you're doing character stuff, you don't need an airbrush. It's more just like getting better at the stuff. So I was just showing them that I did this. Where is it? I was just showing them quickly that I did. I was just showing them I did this last night, and it was basically you get to this after just trial and error and just trying things and stuff like that. But it's like it's really nice to like reach that level, and it is hard to get those level of detail, but you slowly inch by inch you get used to it and get there. Like I probably could have done the eyes a bit more level, but again that's really hard with the hair in the way. But yeah, it's always the obsession of detail versus getting stuff like ready to play and everything. That model was just like, oh, I had a spare model, let me try some stuff out. But yeah, this is looking really nice. I'm actually starting to like the brain a lot. But I have to just check my blood sugar for a second. Because it is low. I'm just going to be back in a sec. I have to get this. I think I've got half an hour more before I probably should stop. So let me just get these little squiggly ball thingies. Add a bit of squid pink to that. Keep a little. Give them a bit of highlight. Make them look like they're, make them look like they're filled with psionic power and everything like that. So, because this is a Synapse creature. The pink. Look at that. Right. So I will go highlight this because this is the closest to being finished. This I still have a lot to do, but then I can just do the base and show it off online and stuff like that. Yeah, just do the highlights. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw some of the chapters you mentioned before. I think you posted one of the sites. I tried to do like a while ago. So my first time I was doing painting, I tried to do a custom Space Marine chapter. I tried to do like a cross between Dark Angels and Ultramarines, and I did a very light blue because I liked light blue, but I didn't like the Ultramarines how dark they were. So it's like, oh, I'll make an Ultramarines chapter that's lighter blue, and it wasted so much of my time because I was just a new painter. So I was like bad at it, and so when I painted it, it made me feel bad about painting. So it really delayed me doing painting for a while. So it was like, see, it was this sort of like, it was a silver, it was blue and metallic stuff like that. This is one of the test ones I tried to do for. Let me see if I can find another one as well. Here he is. So here was again one of the test chapters. So you can see it's like an Ultramarine symbol. That's let me just. It's like an Ultramarine symbol with a Dark Angel symbol. So this was my first attempt, and it was just it just didn't turn out looking nice at all. So it made me really feel bad about painting and stuff like that. So I stopped painting for a while until I was sort of like, okay, I'll redo all of these as proper Ultramarines. But this is where I sort of felt like, okay, I'll try to do the Ultramarines my way. So I tried to make lighter Ultramarines. I tried to make the darker Ultramarines that were just the regular types. And I eventually got to a recipe by that guy El Miniaturista, where he made a very light Ultramarine, but it's very dark in the contrast. And that's how I reached to this sort of scheme. It's sort of like darkish. You can see the dark of the Ultramarines, but you can see just on the camera how vivid it is. And that's why I love this scheme, because it's so vivid that it pops out. You look at this like 5 feet away, and it just pops at you. And that's why. And that's. I've had people like telling me they look delicious. They're like they're miniature that you want to eat. Okay, let me just delete this guy. Oh no, it's not published to chat. Yeah.
It's just I like the ultramarines, but I don't like them that dark purple, that dark blue. It just doesn't work for me. Now let me just sorry, I lost track of things. I need to remember where the highlights are. So that's Pink Horror, Evil Sword Scarlet, Fire Dragon Bright. Bone White, Off White. Bone White, Alien Flesh Tone, Thorn. Oh, yeah. Rhine Upside. Oh yeah, that's in the recesses. Bone White. Okay, so to highlight this, I need Cadian Flesh Tone, which should be here. Nope, that's Kislev Flesh. Cadian Flesh Tone, and Off-White. No, Bone White. So what do you usually use as your main colors? Like, what's your favorite color paints, or do you have a favorite color paints, or do you just use whatever you kind of have available? For me, I follow a lot of guides, so I use all a mix of things. But if I would say to what would be my favorite paints, they would definitely be the AK paints. I really like AK paints. They're really strong colors. We don't need to do too many highlights. Yeah, I'm my hands are shaking too much. I'm messing this up. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my edge. When you get low blood sugar, you start to shake a bit more. So I can't really keep my precision anymore. I can do a bit of messy highlights, so with some of the highlights that are not too clean. I definitely can't focus anymore. Yeah, I am yeah. I'm shaking too much. I sounds like smart. Team someone else. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called. Some people like AK paint, some people like Vallejo, some people like Army Painter. I tried the Army Painter stuff and I'm just like, I don't like Army Painter at all. I think the Army Painter is worse than Citadel. Even the new ones, I'm just like, yeah, they don't work for me at all. That's the whole thing with experimenting. The problem is that it's expensive to experiment, so yeah. Look, this Tyranid is basically like pretty much like done. The wings I don't think the wings turned out really well, but at the same time, sort of like they were my first attempt at the wings. I just couldn't get the gradient smooth enough. Yes, there we go. There we go. I got the Tyranid Prime. I think I'm doing the Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to. I think I'm got the angle. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a pose or whatever. So I'll have to do. Tonight. I'll do the base and everything, and so I'll send the pictures. Maybe if it gets finished tonight. There's some bits that are just a bit. See some spots that are open. The Hive Tyrant again. It's gonna take a while. I have to paint the base. I have to paint. I have to do the base. I have to paint the base. I have to assemble it, and then I have to do the cool special effects. But it's almost done pretty much. We just do a bit of. I don't know how this wing is. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Wait, so Kiko, how do you deal with wanting to make so many armies at the same time? Like Tyranids are probably my third biggest army assembled, but at the same time, well, some paired with Custodes. But at the same time, I really want to start Tau as well. So I'm just like, do I start Tyranid? Do I finish Tyranids 2K? Do I start Tau? I'm just like, I'm so conflicted. Let's just zoom out. No, zoom out, or zoom in down here. So I think we've done pretty well tonight. I'm gonna stop here because again I'm shaking too much, so I can't really paint much else. So we got. Let's get. So we got Tyranid Prime. He's pretty much done. I have to do the base. And then we've got Neurotyrand, who still needs a lot of work, but I'm really glad the brain is turning out well. That was the part I was the most scared of. Simple. A lack of money. Yeah, that is great. Okay, that is true. That's basically what me is sort of stuck as well. But yeah, so I actually have a really big Tyranid project. I'm going to be like a custom Tyranid. I'm going to be kit batching soon. So hopefully that will be done by the end of the year. I'm going to go. My store's anniversary is starting. It has started this weekend. So I might buy some of the good some stuff just to get those free goods and everything like that. But I'm trying to decide. Do I just go for the dice tray or do I go for the whole backpack? Tempting. So I'll probably get. So that's why I was deciding: do I want to spend that money for the Lieutenant Titus, or do I want to just like wait for it? It is very tempting. Looking awesome. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks. I mainly stream just stuff that I was going to do anyway. So I paint every Saturday, so I might as well stream it. I just have a camera above my desk that just show my painting. So it was really cool to bring all those people there for the raid and everything like that. I don't know how many people might still be interested in watching painting, but I think I love the painting process. It's like it's just such a when you get past all the costs of the minis and everything like that, when you actually just sit down to do all the painting, it's just really fun. It just, you get caught up in the game side and wanting to paint the miniatures and all that sort of thing. But then when you sit down and like, I really like the new miniatures, some of the new miniatures. Like the new Tyranids are just so good. Like this is such a great miniature. As well as the Neurotyrand, even though it feels a bit small. Yeah. No, hey Wiggins, we're just finishing up. I'm shaking a bit too much from low blood sugar. So we're basically finished. We've finished everything but the base on this one. So this one's looking pretty nice. Let's get a close up. Yep. So once I figure out the base, what I'm doing for the base, I'm just doing a very simple base, which is usually just the bases for my Tyranids are the same sort of bases for my Ultramarines, which is a grassy base. So hopefully we'll do a grassy base like this, and then we'll have more Tyranids to add to the swarm. Yeah, it's Kraken. It is a very like dark Kraken. It's not super bright. Like lots of people usually do Mephiston red. This one is more Flesh Tears red plus Black Templar. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. I only have these miniatures, the Screamer Killer, and 6 Von Ryan Leapers. I did the Von Ryan Leapers in a single stream. It was, or 2 streams. It was, all 6 of them was kind of crazy. You apply a top coat. Yes, what I usually do is I get a varnish. If I'm gonna play with them, I'm gonna need the varnish anyway. So what I do is I have an airbrush. Where's my airbrush? So I'm an Ultramarine, so I have the Ultra airbrush. So I just get I use matte varnish because gloss varnish doesn't look good on Tyranids. So you get the matte varnish and you just spray on them. That should keep the paint from sort of spoiling if I touch it and stuff like that, because you don't want to touch it and get it wet or anything like that. But you can also just brush you can brush the varnish on. It just doesn't apply. It's a bit too thick if you use a brush to apply it on. But yeah, I'm gonna finish up here because there's no more painting going on, and I'm just gonna have a rest and everything and figure out what I'm gonna purchase tomorrow, because I need to decide, do I want to buy Titus? Can I find someone who's going to help me buy Titus? Do I want to buy 300 euros worth of stuff, or just 200 or whatever? But thanks for showing up. Thanks for following. And I'll be here. I usually stream every Saturday and stuff like that. It's just usually painting and stuff like that. I probably next week I'll probably work on my Custodies, because they're a bit neglected and I need to paint them more up. That or my Ultramarines. So thanks, and it's really fun talking to people. Like, it's very fun to actually have someone to talk to. A lot of my early streams are just me painting, just alone. But now that I have loads of people, it's nice to talk to and have people ask questions and stuff like that. Like, it can be a daunting hobby, but it's very fun, and I think it's worth it if you have certain things. But yeah, thanks for showing up. I'm going to stop and I'm going to work on these things probably later tonight, but I won't be streaming. Bye. Thanks. And have a good evening for everyone else.